All right, this morning's job for YouTube is I'm going to replace my belly pan in my Jeep with this one from Rough Country. I'm also going to replace the transmission mount. I'll show you why I'm replacing both of these in the process. The things you need to do, things you need to have for this, pretty simple. All you really need is like a 1/2 inch socket for the mount. I think a 1/2 inch 9/16 if I remember correctly, and a 3/4 for the belly pan to come off the frame. They give you hardware, so you shouldn't have to reuse any of your hardware. That's what these little short stubby ones are. These are probably going to be to mount this mount on right here. This is the transmission mount adapter and the belly pan. You'll also need, I use 2 floor jacks. It's easier, so these are my floor jacks when you use. You don't need 2 floor jacks. You could use 1 floor jack and a jack stand tall enough to reach the transmission. But this is what we're going to do today. All right, cool. All right, this is why I say you need 2 floor jacks or a floor jack and a tall jack stand. You need one to hold that transmission in place, because when you lower the belly pan, your transmission is going to want to go with it. So that's what you're going to need to hold this up. This is kind of heavy to be lifting in place by yourself. A floor jack makes this a lot easier, or a transmission jack if you have one of those. Would also work really well. Harbor Freight has one that's like $100, maybe $150. That works really well with a 1/2 inch drive ratchet. But yeah, that's what you need. Then you gotta bust these 3/4 inch bolts out. There's 6 of them, 3 on each side. So yeah, don't take them all of them out all at one time. I usually leave the center one in. I'll take the outer ones out on both sides before I take the center out. Okay, let's do that. Okay, as you can kind of tell, the reason why I'm replacing the belly pan is it's bent. It does not design to hold the whole weight of the Jeep on a rock, so it bends, and it's really thin. This is maybe 1/8 inch plate. This is 1/4 inch plate. This should hold up a lot better, and it's going to give me more ground clearance than that guy. When it comes to the motor mount, I broke one of the studs, so it's only being held in by 3 nuts. That's the reason why this is being replaced. So pretty straightforward on why. All right, so once you get your mount in, which is pretty easy, just 5/8 nut or 15 millimeter nuts that bolt onto the actual transmission mount, an exhaust mount. So that's your trans bushing, if you will. I did notice that this one sits higher, or it's thicker than the one I took off. That probably has to do with this tying, the rubber breaking down. My suggestion is, one, keep this loose, because you have to line these bolt holes up. You want to make sure you can move this around to do that, because those don't move, right? These don't move. So you want this to have some play in it so you can move it around, so don't tighten this all the way up. Also make sure you put it right side up, right? So you want the welded on captured nuts to be on top. You can see that it has like a little ramp up right here, and the bolt pattern up here is wider than the back, so the wider pattern goes in the front. You can just tell that by looking at the actual belly pan when you're looking at the belly pan. So pretty easy to do. Let's go grab the belly pan. All right, so the belly pan, just jack the belly pan up. It's pretty easy. There's these 15 mil bolts that thread into that mount I had put in earlier, and then they give you new hardware 3/4 inch bolts to go along the frame. Again, none of this is tight. Keep it so you can adjust things, move things around. You might need to grab a nice punch to pry things and move things around so they fit really well. One of the things I need to point out, this is not this factory transfer case. This is a Rubicon transfer case. This is an 2000 model, but this is designed to fit in any of them. That's why all these holes got multiple mounting holes. right? Mounting holes are all slotted so you can get it in there. The other thing you need to know is it requires a body lift. If you don't have a body lift, you'll have to do a transfer case drop probably and use one of these longer bolts. There we go. I already have a body lift. I have a sway bar on here that required that already. So yeah, then you just tighten everything up. On a side note, you want to get to know your neighbors, or if you just want to piss your neighbors off for whatever reason, or maybe you're just a really outgoing person, well, you could always take a Jack for a walk around your neighborhood. That should make everybody happy. I'm kidding. Don't do that. All right, once you're done, this is how everything should look. 6 bolts each side, real tight, flat washers. You got your 15s holding that mount together. Make it flush to the frame. There's a torque spec. I don't remember torque spec, but you should always look up torque specs. Never take anybody's word for the torque spec. You can find that in your manual. Extreme Terrain has a pretty good torque spec on it. Yeah, this is a really nice mount. Some benefits is that those nuts, those bolts, excuse me, in the center are nice and flush, or at least recessed, excuse me. So those shouldn't get broken like I had with the other mount. The original mounts are nice and far up in there, so should be good to go on that. Yeah, should be good. Easy peasy. Now, these are all the tools I needed. Don't need the impact, but impact makes it easier. Gloves, creeper, 2 floor jacks, block of wood, ratchets, 15 mil, 3/4, 5/8, 1/2 inch, breaker bar, just to make things easier. Yeah, easy peasy. Yep, out with the old, with the new. You're gonna have 6 of these left over, these bolts. These are the longer ones. If you don't have a body lift and you have a transfer case drop, that's what you would use. And that's hardware that you don't reuse for the frame. Cool. Any questions? Leave them in the comments.